Hey there, Gemini community. You know who it is. It's Soul Tigress with a special story for this wonderful frequency. First off, thank you. Thank you so much for your patience, your time, your energy as I navigate this story between the good, the bad, the ugly, the beautiful, and everything in between. Keep in mind that this is a safe and sacred space where we call in the angels, ancestors, spirit guides, as well as divine and universal energy to come on in and be the guides and protectors for all the positive messages that are going to come out. Now, what this means is this channel is not for love tarot. This channel is geared around self-empowerment. And what that means to me is us building the stepping stones for us to get closer to our soul being, which helps align us with a higher power. So Gemini, let's get started with the vibe. First thing is you need to clear your voice and you need to speak up. You've learned a thing or two along the way while walking on your path. Don't doubt your wisdom. Stepping up in a new way. Feeling that personal power that you have, that everyone has. We all are allowed to have it. We're allowed to use it. We're allowed to step into it. If you step into your personal power, other parts of your life may come into balance. Now, what this means is when you step into your personal power, you have a certain confidence about yourself. You have a certain belief in yourself. You have a deeper love for yourself, which creates a protective energy. Again, it helps increase your confidence. It helps you know you a little bit better. So that means anxieties can't get a hold of you like it was before. Doubts can't get a hold of you like before. And again, when we have more confidence and less anxieties, our world may seem a little less hectic. We may have less reactions and more understanding. We may find ourselves not fighting the flow of life, but opening up to the opportunities that come with flowing with life. Let's keep going. I know this is a good one. I'm telling you, this is really good. All right, this could be with business partners, spouses, and or a community. The key here, though, is starting something new. And it's with yourself, Gemini. It's a self-care routine. Really think about what makes you feel down about yourself and creating a routine around that to begin with. All right, so let's talk about insecurities really quick. We're all guilty of them. A great one to speak upon that's a really simple example is for some people, like for me, sometimes I get insecure about my hair because when I move from one state to another, my hair changed. It doesn't lay naturally flat like it used to when it was in higher altitude. Now that I'm in a lower altitude with more humidity, it's more frizzy. Go figure. Anyways, so sometimes I get insecure about my hair. So I know that I have to create a routine to where I tend to my hair differently. And when I step up into that routine, honestly, and I keep at it, my insecurities, my anxieties about my hair when I'm stepping out or even doing one of these videos, they're not as high. So that is just a simple example of a routine into taking care of an insecurity that we have. You don't have to stick with that insecurity forever, Gemini. It's a lot of times coming down to our self-care, how we can work with ourselves to see ourselves differently. I worked with myself to see myself differently with my hair. So let's keep going. Really think about what makes you feel down about yourself and creating a routine around that to begin with. Being able to work on ourselves helps us overcome some of our insecurities. This is a part of stepping into your personal power. And I'm going to do another little detour. If you go check out the new moon, full moon interpretation, with the new moon being in Pisces, full moon being in Virgo, Pisces energy. In that interpretation, it does speak about how Pisces energy can actually get lost in their insecurities and become obsessed with them. Now, that isn't just a Pisces thing. I feel like that's all of us. And I always say that these houses, which they are set up to represent different parts of us. So we have each sign a little bit in us in some kind of way, even though our planets, our ascendings, or whatever aren't in them. It's still a big pie, and each house is just a slice of it. A different slice that we experience at different times. It's kind of like the changing of the seasons. But Gemini, I'm rambling, so let's go ahead and get going with this. So I had the introduction with the Butterfly Oracle for life changes. So let's see what needs to come out for the Gemini frequency. What is in it? What is in it? What is it that we need to see that's in this frequency? Angels, ancestors, spirit guides, help guide us through this introduction. Few cards that you're seeing. Well, you're moving pretty fast. Could be moving in one direction. I'm not sure. But what you're not seeing as you're moving, multitasking, trying to get the most done, Gemini, is that spiritual growth is needed here. Something needs to be done differently here. Maybe that's what this whole kind of evaluating what your insecurities are and being able to work with yourself. Another thing is when you step into your personal power, you start to create a stronger spiritual shield. That could be something as well. All right, so let's go ahead. What else needs to come out? Something we're not seeing and we're at odds ends with. Oh my goodness, Gemini, you seen that? You seen that? This is not no card tricks here. Really, we got some ancestors, some angels, some spirit guides that are expressing stuff here because they want to see you evolve. They don't want you to feel like you're running around getting the most done for nothing. They want you to see who you are. So we have self-care that pops out. As you can see, it landed face down and in reverse. I don't know if this is something that you kind of move away from. You put yourself on the back burner, so to say, when it comes down to the things in life, when it comes down to you making time to take care of yourself. And this is something that you're at odds ends with, is being true to yourself. What do you need to be true to yourself with when it comes down to your spiritual growth and your self-care? And the directions that you're moving in, have been moving in, but also the direction that you want to move in, Gemini. Let's go ahead. 2 more cards. We have them right here. You get 3 cards. Volunteering. We have a little odds ends with volunteering. We're not seeing a windfall of events, and Leaving. Ooh. I think in the last cycle of stories, Gemini, we discovered, was running around doing the most. But they were doing the most to try and stay ahead of their anxieties, because they were trying to change something up. They were running from almost like a past routine. It could have been like a generational curse kind of thing. They didn't want to show up how others had shown up in the past. That's what I got. So I know we talked about slowing down and not having to always like be there for everybody every single minute of your day, because you need to be there for yourself. So we have a windfall. So this actually maybe could be a warning, Gemini. Maybe this story is a preparation for something to come. Now, I usually don't say that with stories, but I have windfall, volunteering in reverse, and leaving. Now, the divine gets just as stubborn, if not even more stubborn with us, when it comes down to us needing to learn certain lessons. And the divine will put us between a hard place and a rock, and it will turn it up in other ways while we're in that hard place and a rock, bringing on the floods of the emotions and stuff. And it's because the divine wants you to get out of that spot. So for Gemini, there could be something that's coming up, and you may not have a choice in it. I don't know what it could be. A lot of times the divine will create something that forces us to sit in one spot, that forces us to be in that moment. And I feel like something's going to happen. It's going to be kind of like a windfall event, and either you're going to have to back off, or somehow the divine is going to make you back off. I'm not sure. But when this happens, I don't want to say certain words. This is why I'm beating around a really big bush, because in a lot of different ways this can happen. But when this happens, Gemini, when you are forced to slow down by something that's unexpected here, the biggest thing is not to fight it. Remember, it's being true to yourself. It's starting the self-care routine to help your spiritual growth. And just know, whatever you get ready to go through, you are strong enough. This is meant to happen. You're meant to learn something in this flow at this time in this particular direction. Have faith. That's a part of being in touch with this energy within here that has us in touch with that higher energy. I will say this, I've been going through my own little journey that asked me to take time to find something. And I literally was like stuck, couldn't do much, even though I was trying. And I did find a big key here that helped unlock some things for me. But it had to go in the direction and the timing that it did, because what I was looking for when I started to try and move again wasn't there. So again, the divine added another piece that made me wait and wait and wait until it was ready. You got to remember, sometimes we think we're ready, but something we're working towards may not be. So just take time with yourself. If this abrupt kind of stagnant happens, if you're forced to slow down. Okay, so let's keep going. Woo, I just want to express that the divine is not punishing you at that time. Don't go into that, why me, I can't ever do anything. No, there's something here in the mix. And it's just you're out in the dark with this right now. And one of the things is you're gonna need to bring on mercy, compassion, acceptance. I say that again. Onto yourself when it happens. Just being kind to yourself, knowing that it is a part of the big divine plan for you in your path. All right, so woo-wee! Ancestors, spirit guides, what's going on in the present here? What is it that needs to come out? So 2 things we're not seeing. This one was in the pre-shuffle too. So we have the Fool here, and I have a King of Pentacles. Let's see if we can get that a little bit better here. Give me a second. I know the lighting's low. Here we go. That's a little better. All right. So the Fool, Aquarius, new adventure. Then we have this Pentacles here. So this King of Pentacles likes his toys, likes to share stuff, is definitely really stable. Would I get this volunteer, this Fool that it lands under, this self-care? There's something that's just gonna come up. That's all I'm getting, because you're not gonna be able to move. Maybe right now you feel like you can't go in any new direction. You're really stuck. And then with this King of Pentacles, you're not feeling like this provider energy. You're not feeling like there is stability around you. You're definitely not feeling progressive. You're actually wanting to retreat. You're wanting to retreat within, in a sense. What else needs to come out? Oh, Gemini's present. A lot of stuff we don't want to see. So we have this 8 of Wands. 8 of Wands, usually really fast movement. Again, no movement here. Here we go. What was I telling you about? There's a contract here. There's something that you're going to have to work through. You're going to have to work with. And I feel like the others is the divine. And what is the divine looking for? Well, we have this 6 of Swords. 6 of Swords, 6 of Swords, 6 of Swords here. Let's get a clarity card. 5 of Swords is picking up, kind of putting down some stuff. 7 of Swords, we're getting more entrapped into stuff. 6 of Swords, we're still thrown for a loop here, I feel like, in our thoughts, confused about stuff. Maybe it's because Gemini's stuck in only one way of thinking about things. Let's go ahead and get a clarity card for this 6 of Swords. What is it that needs to come out for this 6 of Swords? There it is. A 7 of Wands. So, 7 of Wands, fully and upright. You are on the defense. You have the advantage and will eventually win. Be strong and aggressive. Expect criticism and challenges for your authority. Stand up for yourself and up for your ideas. You will never regret your actions, even though they may seem too aggressive at the time. People compete for your energy and your resources. So that's really feeling that internal fire. That internal fire, the foundations, filling your boundaries as well, Gemini. Even when the thick of it in your thoughts, the thick of it when people are coming at you. Right now, it's really listening to your inner wisdom here. That could be this new direction that you need to go in. Which I've been saying that, but you're not feeling it right here. You're not feeling it that it should be a part of this contract. I don't know what. Maybe you feel like everyone else should be more mature. Everyone else should understand the bigger picture. Gemini, you're an air sign. You're very intellectual. You're smart. You're 10 steps, because there's two of you, you're usually 10 steps ahead of people. It's like you can see the shit hitting the fan with the choices that people are making so many days before it happens. But these people won't heed your advice. These people won't heed your warnings. But you still run around. You still run around trying to maybe put out their fires. I'm not sure. I am not sure. But whatever it is that you're running around, you're running around and you're not like believing. You're not believing in your mission. You're not believing in your purpose. You're not believing in this wisdom that you have. The wisdom that drives you. All right. What else needs to come out? Holy moly. 5 of Cups here. I think that kind of goes into that wisdom and stuff. Because you run around so much for everyone else and you have this natural self-doubt within yourself about yourself. I feel like you get overdrained. You get overdrained because what I'm seeing is a big energy of you taking in so much of others and others' choices and what others are doing. Remember, you're not seeing this volunteering. Maybe this is why this comes out in reverse, is you're volunteering too much for these others. Maybe volunteering too much for these others again and not stepping back and taking care of yourself is something that really has you confused in your kingdom. This is the Aries card, birth of awareness. Birth of awareness here. There's something here that the self-doubt pushes down when it comes to your awareness about yourself. Because you're confused. You are confused about your kingdom. The people, the things, how much you do, how much you should do. Ooh. What else needs to come out? So we went from the 6 of Swords to the 5 of Swords. Got 11 swords here. Now I see. You keep going on this trajectory. You're gonna drive yourself mad, Gemini. I think you already feel it. I think that sometimes that your internal, what I would say, teapot, tea kettle, it overboils a lot when it comes down to dealing with these ones. When it comes down to this particular contract. This particular contract, and even like grasping your mind around like it being something that is just geared around you. Why do I say it like that? Because Gemini, look at it, you do so much for others. Your anxieties that you have within, some of it's built around, again, not wanting to repeat something. So you overcompensate in another area, and that's where you give yourself to others, always wanting to help out so much. But here your contract is saying, yes, this is a part of it, but the lesson here isn't to give yourself away so much. Alright, let's see what else needs to come out. Oh my goodness. Yeah. So you get a lot upset. You get a lot upset. Again, it's because you're getting over frazzled with these others. That's what it is. I feel like because you stay stuck in this routine, it's the same thing every year, every day. Whoever these others, they're not doing something different, this person, place, or thing. So you end up really frustrated. And you're smart, but when you get frustrated, and if you've ever heard a Gemini verbally frustrated, get the hell out the way. Their words can cut down. But this frustration is a rage that you can't control when it happens. And then when you finally go off and you say how you feel, and it doesn't have to be that you're around these people either. You could do it by yourself within your own home. But when it happens, you feel really bad about it. You feel really bad about it. And I feel like this is that internal dilemma that happens. This is when you feel bad, that's you bringing on all the self-doubt. That's demoting your value. That's demoting how you feel. It's like you're not validating yourself, because all you're seeing is just that one side of you, and that one side is the one that's sick and tired. So some cards that we're confused on that you're not seeing is how to juggle this. How to juggle it. Is this really the outcome of things? Wheel of Fortune also talks about change. Can things change? Why doesn't it change? And then I have, again, more swords. 8 of Swords here. What I see is then you put on, like, you have this, you go off, you feel the way you do, you really want change, you want something different here. So the next day, after you, like I said, after you went off, the next day you wake up and you do that routine all over again. Not the freak out, not the upsetness, not the like really saying how you feel. That you build up to that. It takes you a little bit to build up. But what it is you wake up the next day and you repeat the same routine in hopes that something will change. But I think I've told Capricorn this, Gemini. You keep walking up to this self-checkout with a bag of chips, really wanting a drink. But you keep scanning and buying these chips when you really want a drink, and you're walking away saying, why did I get these chips? I really wanted a drink. You're upset. You're not really fulfilled. And the thing is, you got to put down these chips and you got to go get you something different. You got to explore a different part of the store. You got to open up that, you have the means to go get you something different. You have the means to do something different. You have that free willpower. Whew. Like I said, nobody else could teach you this lesson but the divine. This is you and the divine partnering up here. This is your contract with that soul being here. This is this contract that you have with yourself. Everybody has this contract. When our time to arrive to it is, it all depends. But we always have different contracts with ourselves. I don't ever think anybody's ever spoken about that. People always speak about how we have certain karmic contracts with other persons, places, or things. But we don't ever talk about our own personal growth contracts. And this is what this is. The divine's not slowing you down to punish you. The divine is slowing you down so that you can take care of you. Because you're really important too. Don't forget that, Gemini. Let's go ahead and go off into the block here. Let's see what's really blocking you. We know how you're putting up with things, but what is it that you have this block up to yourself about? Angels of protection, please protect us as we navigate this block with the Gemini community. What is it that needs to come out for this block? We have a Four of Potions here. What I feel like is you don't know what to do. You don't know what to do. Four of Potions talks about waiting for something to come in, but Four of Potions also talks about overindulgence. Just depending on which way it goes. Talk about opening up the opportunity to do something different, or it goes into the other route where it's closing yourself off. And I feel like, in a sense, you running around doing all this, you do have yourself closed off to something. What this something is something that I would say enhances the self-doubts here. And as we're saying self-doubts, we have a Queen. This is a Queen of Potions. So this is something emotional here. Six of Potions. And we have the Six of Candles. Queen. This Queen of Potions, Queen of Cups, maternal energy. When we have any of these water signs out here, it's always a big lesson, whether it's into our foundations, whether it's we have to have a transformation through a relationship, or we're having to end something that we've been doing so we can do something different. Right here is you have something, a routine that's been going on since the Six of Potions. This talks about for a long time. For many years. It could have been something since you were young that you've worked into this routine. Maybe this routine is trying to come in and being the ultimate kind of nurturing energy. Maybe that nurturing energy is something that feeds your charisma. Something that feeds your passions. Maybe it's something that, helps lighten that inner light. That's a good thing, wanting to help, trying to show people things can be different. That's wonderful. That is wonderful. You helping out others isn't a bad thing, Gemini. You just got to remember to take care of yourself too. And as I say that, I have the Hermit in reverse. Hermit in reverse talks about trusting others. What is it here that you're overly trusting with others? Because you're trying to be this nurturer. Because you've known them for so long. Then I have this Two of Candles here. You're confused on what you can actually do. Three of Potions. Yeah, you're confused on actually what you can do within your community. You're confused on maybe... How do I put this? What I'm seeing is establishing new foundations with your community. If I was to speak in like a normal term, what I'm seeing, or like something that's relevant right now, excuse me, is what I'm seeing is like, say you're a mayor of a town. And if you're this mayor of the town, it's going and recognizing where your slums are. And you're wanting to change your slums in your town, in your kingdom. And you're wanting to make your slums better, but you don't know how to make that part of your kingdom better. You don't know how to make this dark, shadowy area more lit, more in love, more in light, more in like the beautiful sunshine kind of thing. That's what I'm seeing. I mean, you can keep trying to figure out how to put a glitter, a bow, even perfume on a turd. But at the end of the day, it's a turd. That turd is not going to turn into anything else except for fertilizer as it decomposes. Sometimes you have to understand people really choose to live the way they live. Places of businesses choose to operate that way. Sometimes it's not your lesson, it's not your duty to save them. Sometimes it's your duty to recognize when you need to save yourself. If you took more care of yourself, Gemini, that would create less focus on whatever this part of your community is. Because you're going to drive yourself nuts trying to perfume, glitter, put a bow on this turd, and this turd doesn't want to do anything different than be a turd. Imagine if you took all that and put it onto yourself. Put the glitter, the bow, the whatevers, all on yourself. Took that time all for yourself, then how would you feel? Well, at first you're going to feel guilty, because I know you, Gemini. You feel so guilty, but you don't need to feel guilty. You're allowed to take care of yourself. But could you imagine how you would feel if instead of running around after things that don't want to do better, don't want to be better, instead of doing that, you start doing things for yourself? Maybe there's something that you've always wanted to do, a class that you've always wanted to take. Maybe there's a certain part-time position you've always wanted to try out. Maybe there's some new hobby that you wanted to do. Maybe there's something certain that you want to start in your new self-care routine. Maybe it's giving yourself a pedicure or a manicure every week. I'm not sure. But if you took that little time for yourself instead of running around for these others, you're going to be giving to yourself. You're going to feel better about yourself. You're going to feel more comfortable in your own skin. I don't know, but this community, because you can't save them all. You can't save them all. It's not your choice. It's not your choice. I mean, it is, you have the choice to run around after them, but it's not your duty. Everyone's duty is spiritual involvement if they choose. And a lot of times we don't recognize when we start to evolve ourselves, that's when we start to lead the example for others, opening up that door to something new. But first it takes us stepping up for ourselves. Don't forget that one. Alright, so what is the last card for the block here for Gemini? This Empress. So the Empress, what I'm highlighted to focus on is when the Empress is an upright, she's a good mother. Remember, this nurturing, maternal type of energy is really important to you, Gemini. And whoever you're battling with, whatever it is that you're trying to do to show them that it's a different way, maybe some kind of something that standard that you're trying to force upon them, and it's not force upon them, but this new standard that you're trying to create, trying to just put it out there or something, whatever it is in your community, what it is they oppose you. And then they oppose you in a way that makes you not feel like you are very emotional, like you don't care, like you don't want to be that good person. What it is you try and make them step up, and they turn around and they point the finger at you. And it's kind of like almost everything that you're trying to work them out of, they're pointing the finger back at you, saying that you're all of that. That's what I'm getting. That's a hard one. That is a hard one, Gemini. This is why it's really important that you take care of yourself. And with that new moon, full moon interpretation, that's what it speaks about. It speaks about what we believe, how we believe in ourselves, how we talk to ourselves, how we think about ourselves. But it also asks that we confront some of our beliefs, and aligning with a higher power that isn't intellectually reached. It's reached within your spiritual being. And you do that through taking care of yourself. I mentioned this, I don't know if it was for the earth signs when I was doing the bonus messages, but I've been mentioning this. And your vessel, you make a choice on what your vessel represents, in a sense, metaphorically. Excuse me if I offend anybody, but just take a step back, open up to it. Your vessel can either be a bathroom stall, where everyone and anyone has access to you at any time, and they can do whatever they want. Or your vessel is a temple. It all depends on how you take care of it. How do you take care of a temple versus how do you take care of a bathroom stall? It's two really different things right there. Recognizing that your vessel is a temple. It is a sacred space that houses your soul being, your internal light, your charisma, the very thing that you are, the very thing that you represent. Well, that is whatever your purpose is here. So wouldn't you want to take care of your temple accordingly, making sure that it's clean, making sure that it's up to date, making sure that there's maintenance for it, airing it out when it needs to be aired out, closing it up when it needs to be closed up. You are the governor of your temple. But when you create create the energy of your temple being a bathroom stall instead, then again, anybody can come in, do whatever, whenever they want. They can leave their marks up on your walls, the graffiti and stuff. Come on, we've all been in some bathroom stalls that have been really gross. If you ever had a long road trip or been at a concert, you know. People don't respect bathroom stalls. So when you start to take care of yourself, again, you're starting to treat your vessel like a sacred space. You're starting to honor what houses your soul being. Anything that you do to yourself, say to yourself, think about yourself, your soul being feels it. It feels it. Keep that in mind. Let's go ahead and continue on to the conclusion for the Gemini frequency. All right, divine and universal energy. What is it? What is it that needs to come out for the conclusion for the Gemini frequency? Something we're not seeing, Gemini, and we're at odds ends. This comes down to you being up in your head about knowing this, being around this community, person, place, or thing for so long. And it's worked through your fears. I feel like you're really worried about what they're going to project onto you. If you start making these moves, if you start saying no to them a little more, if you start spending time focusing on you a little bit more, and whatever this endeavor is. You're really worried about what they're going to project to you. You're really worried about how this change can affect the community and if it's going to hold things up more. But Scorpio here is again a transformation through a relationship. This has to happen with your community, with yourself in particular in this community. Again, you could be learning new standards and boundaries that you need to have, but also learning how important it is to step back and take care of yourself too. All right, ooh, here we go. Something that you're little at odds ends with is a new start that's coming. Ooh, you don't want to rock the boat. Something that, again, here we go. The energy is gaining momentum. Something that you don't want to see and that you're at odds ends. Rock the boat. That's what I'm hearing. Rock the boat. You're at odds ends with this. But you need to rock this boat here. You need to let these people know that you're here. And you're not their doormat anymore. I feel like my speech has been a little short. Even now when I'm going into your frequency, it feels like my tongue wants to swell. Like you hold back a lot. You hold back what you really want to say. Oh, it comes out. It's when you're blowing your top, it comes out. But the actual things that you want to say that you compromise on, you hold back. Which in turn has created an energy where you hold yourself back. Where you really doubt yourself. Doubt how you feel. Doubt what you believe. What else needs to come out? You're at odds ends with it. But you have a feeling. You have a feeling it is important. Very important. Have faith in your dreams. It is a time for healing, Gemini. I promise. Healing is always sticky. It's messy. Not everybody likes it, but it's essential. I always like to speak about when we go through and start healing things of our past that affect our present. It's like a metaphoric wound that we have. Now, we've had this wound for so long and we've tried to pretend it's not there. So we haven't taken care of it. So what has happened? Well, it has dirt. It has stuff. It's dirty. Plus, it's also infected. Because why? We chose not to take care of it for so long because we were trying to do something else. So a part of healing is going in and saying, I do have something. I have something right here. And it's not okay. And it's creating that openness, that willingness to feel the sting of the soap and the water and being able to express all that dirt, all that grime, the infection that has taken hold, the infection that has started to weaken us that we didn't know about. Oh, it hurts. It's a pain in the butt. But once we get this wound cleaned, then it's time for healing. But it doesn't stop there, Gemini. Just like with spiritual healing, after we get it all cleaned up, we have to keep tending to it. Because every day is a test. It's a test to how much do we want to heal. Did we just come in that one time to clean it and that's it? No, we got to come back every day. Revisit it, clean it, put the ointment on it, bandage it, and then it starts to heal. And we don't have to care for it as much. And then it gets fully healed and it's gone. It's merely a scar there, That is a reminder. That is a reminder to what we've been through, what we worked through, how we overcame something. And that reminder is something that empowers us. It empowers us to step into our personal power, more of knowing who we are, knowing that we can overcome things that we thought we never could before. Keep that in mind, Gemini. It's hard work. It is hard work to heal, but it's worth it. It is worth it. All right, what is the last card for the Gemini frequency? When it comes to dealing with these others, when it comes to that, you know, that light, that inner light that you have to help others, you know, there's nothing wrong with that. You are close to achieving your goal. Maybe that goal is to have something come in. Again, it speaks a lot about nurturing energy here. Maybe there's something that you really wish that you had. And when you start doing the self-care routine, that's when you'll be able to start to work into it. That could be something as well. Maybe you've had anxieties about releasing something. Maybe starting to work into this energy is going to help you release whatever you've been trying to release. Just know that it's all possible, Gemini. But it takes you looking at yourself a little differently. It takes you seeing how you are important too. And creating that self-care routine. Taking that time for yourself because you deserve it, Gemini. Don't forget that. Life is hard and you are one of the hardest workers out there. All right? Take time for yourself. Again, you deserve it. All right, everyone. This is going to conclude it. Don't forget to thank your angels, ancestors, spirit guides, as well as divine and universal energy for coming in and helping out with all these positive messages. And I hope that you have a most wonderful, wonderful, wonderful rest of your day.